This is Sarah Dubinsky. She is the co-president of the McKinley speech and debate team, and she has a connection to the late, great Gilda Radner. Her coach, Manuel Halkias, explains.
Well, the event she competes in for us is called dramatic interpretation. And in dramatic interpretation, they take a 10-minute selection. It could be from a book, it could be a screenplay from a movie, it can be a play. And we take whatever characters there may be in it, and the student becomes the characters. And Sarah's selection this year is from Gilda Radner's memoir, It's Always Something, which details her battle with cancer. And for those 10 minutes, Sarah becomes Gilda Radner, and she's telling her story from diagnosis through her the various stages she goes through of acceptance of what's happening to her.
So I was really like, oh, nothing can be as good as last year's piece, because I loved it so much. I was able to take it to nationals and do quite well with it. But this year, when Mr. Hockey was explaining the pieces, I was like, okay, that sounds nice. But when he talked about a comedian who also had cancer, it was just like really funny and outgoing and loving. And then he was like, your hair's brown, her hair's brown. That's when I was like, oh no, Mr. Halkias, he's gonna be so just like tapping into like the characterization with me. And so it was kind of just like that little click. And as soon as he was like a comedian who went through cancer, I was like, Mr. Halkias, are you really trying to tell your story through Gilda Radner, through me? And that is exactly what he did. Not only Mr. Halkias' story, but our assistant coach, Miss Kitty Deems Burgett's story. She also has battled cancer and has defeated it 2 times. So just had to have 2 coaches be able to come into the character, such as Gilda Radner, 2 hilarious people, was just like, obviously, this is what we need to do. And it was more so an honor, honestly, that he picked me to be able to portray this character. And like, because he could have picked anyone else another year, you know, he could have like saved this one for something else. But he was just like, you know what, it's time, let's do it. And the funny thing is, Mr. Halkias was like, I tried to cut this book before. He couldn't do it, and then he got cancer, he survived it, and then he got cancer again, he survived it, and then he read the book again, and he was like, I understand it now. And then he cut it, and then it was like beautiful. The first script was 30 minutes long. We cut it down to 10, but you could really feel like his own personality coming out through the words.
For all the laughs shared, it's a powerful story. Halkias truly has a deep connection to it.
I am a survivor of stage 4 colon cancer, and many of the things that Gilda talks about going through are some of the exact same things. Some of the pain issues are the pain issues that I had. The memories of being in the doctor's office, I was diagnosed pretty much the same weekend they put me in the hospital, and I had surgery within the next week, and I was out of commission, away from school for 15 months. And I had to learn. I was on a coma for 2 weeks, ventilator for 9 weeks, in rehab, in and out. But I remember when I was getting the diagnosis, and I'm in a hospital bed, I'm looking up at the ceiling, and the thought of the possibility of dying comes to mind. And Gilda Radner writes that she experienced the exact same thing. And there's this scene when she's doing this, and she's looking up at the ceiling, and it's like, this is where I was. And it's just, and I think what impresses me with how Sarah performs is it's not really a performance. I mean, it is a performance, but it's so genuine.
Some go out, or it's like a full, or it curls around, or it's like a little knob on it, like a door. Some of them got a little piece of their sweater still in it. Some of them look like a little star, or a shell, or a clam, or some you don't know what they are. But personally, I, Rosanna Dare, don't like to walk around with no clothes in front of other people.
Dubinsky over time has grown to have such an appreciation for Radner as well.
Oh my gosh, I love her. It's sad because, you know, she's not around anymore. She's amazing, like idol. She's just an icon to like the comedic world. She was on the very first pick of when SNL was first started. She was in the first cast. She's still ranked top 10 amongst like all SNL characters to ever come on. All of her like infamous like Rosanna Dana, and all of her other characters are just like so fun and loving, and they're still used to this day. And we kind of took her character with a little bit of the Rosanna Dana vibes to make her more distinct because she has such a light accent. So we kind of used that accent just a little bit to punch it out, and judges seemed to like it, so we kept it going. But yes, I know a lot about her.
As for the list of accomplishments for this young lady, it could go on for days. Halkias highlights what we need to know.
She's currently ranked first in Ohio in dramatic interpretation in terms of points. She's currently ranked 6th in the country in terms of her competition points, and they count your whole 4 years of work. And the neat thing with her is she's 6th in the country, but her first year does not count because she was in a different event. So she's 6th in the country on 3 years instead of 4. She's been in finals here, there, and everywhere. There's not much really that she has not done.
I have so much from this program. And I'm not saying like trophies and awards, but just like in terms of, I don't know, like just my morals and my speaking abilities now, and my friendships that I have, and my respect for, you know, coaches all over the state, and for my competitors and for my personal coaches. Just that McKinley can give this to me, and I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about paying for hotels or paying for tournament fees. They take care of all of it. It's incredible. You know, we have kids who come in, they don't come in because they don't think they can afford to do it, because they hear that we travel. We travel to Pennsylvania and all over Ohio, but we never have to pay a thing. And it's fantastic. And it's just one of the things that you can tell that Mr. Halkias and Miss Kitty and the school just wants people to come in because he wants to change our lives, and he will. You just gotta let him.